Now at 5, the EPA gives Jasper County residents an update on efforts to clean up lead mining waste. Plus, how NEO A&M is preparing for severe weather season and possible storms. And
metal barricades are out and SWAT teams are on standby after former President Trump tells his supporters to protest his potential arrest. I'm Michael George with the latest on the potential for criminal charges.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
the Environmental Protection Agency is in Jasper County today to give an update on cleanup projects. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The EPA has been working to clean up mine waste for the past 30 years. That waste stems from extensive lead mining in the area decades ago, which contaminated the soil and water of many properties. This led to much of Jasper County being part of a Superfund cleanup site. Officials say so far they've cleaned up around 24 million cubic yards of mine waste and supplied 500 homes with new drinking water. But their work is far from over.
Several new projects planned over the course of these next couple of years. So we are currently designing cleanup areas for 300 acres, and we plan to clean up about 4 million cubic yards of mine waste over the next couple of years, and that's just mine waste areas. We're also currently sampling residential properties and plan to expand those efforts as well.
The EPA is currently conducting a technical needs assessment as they work to determine if they should expand the Superfund site boundary. A wet day out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we had showers. We even had a few little thunderstorms that rolled through during the morning hours. So very wet start to the day. You can see all these showers, some embedded thunderstorms pushing through. Now we're mainly just seeing clouds, a little bit of drizzle, could get a random shower tonight, but the heaviest rain is out of here for about 36 hours before it rolls in again. We're sitting into the mid to upper 40s, but you can see it's getting a little bit warmer out to the west. Our temperatures are actually going to rise as we go through the overnight hours. Stays very windy. We got those southerly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour, and these are going to stay strong as we go through the evening. But look at our temps. We warm through the 50s as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. A big rise in temperatures, much warmer tomorrow, staying very windy. Thunderstorms Thursday. We're going to break it down for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. With severe weather season approaching, schools are taking proactive steps to ensure the safety of their students, faculty, and staff. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M college officials have implemented a comprehensive emergency management plan that includes regular communication with students and staff about severe weather threats. The school also conducts regular drills to ensure everyone knows what to do in the event of an emergency.
In the event of any weather watches,
Apologies for those technical problems. We're going to hear how Pitt State is preparing tonight at 6. Missouri Southern and Crowder College are teaming up to make it easier for international students to continue their higher education. The agreement allows those students to continue their education at MSSU at a discounted rate after graduating from Crowder College. Officials say it's all about creating a smooth transition.
You know, the goal of this partnership is to ensure they can have a seamless transition to Missouri Southern.
Apparently, we're still having some technical difficulties. Again, we apologize. Now, under the agreement, international students will pay Missouri Southern's out-of-state tuition rate rather than the international rate. Schools in the Los Angeles Unified School District are closed today as workers walked off the job over failed contract talks. Custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and other support staff are all on strike. Teachers joined in solidarity today for a planned 3-day strike. The Service Employees International Union is demanding better wages and increased staffing in the nation's second largest school system. Extra security measures are in place in New York, Washington, D.C., and other spots all around the country as the nation waits to see if former President Donald Trump is indicted. Reporter Michael George has the latest now from New York City.
A handful of demonstrators gathered outside the Manhattan District Attorney's office Tuesday, calling for an indictment against former President Donald Trump. DA Alvin Bragg is leading the investigation into allegations that Trump may have falsified records to hide campaign finance violations in connection with a 2016 payment his former fixer Michael Cohen made to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
It makes no sense, it's desperate, and their key witness is Michael Cohen, and I think that says everything that you need to know.
Outside Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, protesters rallied in support of the former president and current 2024 presidential candidate. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. Republican allies call the investigation politically motivated.
This was 7 years ago, statute of limitation, and I think in your heart of hearts you know too that you think this is just political. And I think that's what the rest of the country thinks, and we're kind of tired of that.
Security has been beefed up around the Capitol after President Trump called on his supporters to protest. He made similar comments ahead of the January 6th riot. Barricades have also been put in place outside the courthouse in Manhattan. Every NYPD officer, including plainclothes detectives, were ordered to wear their full NYPD uniforms today. A police source tells CBS News officers were also told to be ready to mobilize. If indicted, Trump would become the first president in U.S. history to be charged with a crime. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
It's unclear when the grand jury will complete its work and reach a decision on whether to indict. Still ahead, getting married in paradise.
Destination weddings are becoming more popular since the pandemic. I'm Wendy Gillette. I'll show you some choice locations, including here in Fiji.
And next in Health Watch, what a new study shows about how much physical activity people are getting since the pandemic. Topping today's Health Watch, a fungus considered an urgent resistant threat spread at an alarming rate in U.S. healthcare facilities in 2020 and 2021. A new CDC report shows a concerning increase in cases of Candida auris with resistance to the most recommended treatment. C. auris is usually not a threat to healthy people, but can cause severe infections with high death rates in hospitalized patients and nursing home residents. Did the pandemic put a crimp in your workouts? Well, new findings show you're not alone, and there's been a significant decline in physical activity in the wake of COVID. Michael George reports that's concerning because less movement could lead to serious disease risk.
Americans are taking significantly fewer steps than they did pre-COVID. That's according to a new study in JAMA Network Open. Researchers in Tennessee analyzed the Fitbits of thousands of U.S. adults for 2 years before the start of the pandemic and then after June 2020. They found the median daily step count pre-COVID was 7,808 steps. Post-COVID, that number dropped to 7,089. Those who were at the highest risk of reduced activity include people with lower socioeconomic status and those reporting worse mental health in the early days of the pandemic. The data also shows that the decline in daily step counts is continuing, even after most COVID-19 related restrictions have been relaxed, which means the pandemic could be affecting long-term behavioral choices. The study authors say it's still unclear whether this reduction in steps will result in real risks down the line, but previous research shows lower step counts over a long period could lead to heart disease risk. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Seems most patients prefer immediate access to medical test results, even if it's bad news. New findings in JAMA Network Open looked at more than 8,000 patients who used an online patient portal and found most wanted results right away, even if their doctor had not yet reviewed them. A small number said they experienced more worry after receiving abnormal results. Pregnant women who suffer minor injuries in traffic collisions are at an increased risk for potentially dangerous birth complications. A study published in the journal Injury Prevention found those complications can include dislodgement of the placenta, heavy bleeding, and the need for a C-section. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, federal officials are trying to calm fears about uncertainty in the banking industry.
Plus, we have more rain in the forecast and also a big warm-up. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a wet one for us today. Showers, thunderstorms through the morning hours. Most of the afternoon, we've just had cloudy skies. It's chilly, it's windy, a little bit of drizzle here and there, and that's what we're going to see as we go through the evening hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, all the rain we had earlier today, or at least persistent rain, is gone. We're still socked in with the clouds. A little bit of drizzle out there. Rainfall amounts, not that much where you see the greens. We're looking at a quarter to a half an inch. Most of us about a quarter of an inch of rain with this big batch that rolled through earlier for us today. Behind it, just a lot of clouds. We are going to get some random showers as we go through about the next 24 hours. But here's our next big storm system, which will start to affect us by Thursday with a lot of changes. All right, most of us are sitting mid to upper 40s, near 50 once you get into our western counties. Temperatures are actually going to rise as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight as a warm front shifts through. Currently outside at 48, southerly winds 5 to 10. Humidity is at 89%. So we're actually at our overnight low, and we're going to be about 10 to 12 degrees warmer than this by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. All right, southerly winds, they back down a little bit for us today. We're getting gusts kind of in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range, but these are going to stay decently strong. Once again, still tomorrow, we're going to have winds gusting near 40, and they're going to stay strong throughout the day and then into tomorrow night, and then also on Thursday, and then the winds will start to taper off just a little bit. All right, so random showers late tonight, and then most of tomorrow is going to be dry, but we'll see those rain chances really shooting up once again as we go into Thursday afternoon. Let's go through time. Cloudy skies, hit or miss shower for us tonight. Most of you are going to stay dry, a little bit of drizzle out there. Here's 7 a.m. Look at our temps. We're sitting lower 60s across the board. As we go through the morning hours, big warm up, mostly cloudy skies pushing 70 by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, low to mid 70s. So it's going to be actually a mild day for us tomorrow. A day planner 62 to start, 67 by noon, 72 by 5 p.m. Very windy, southerly winds 20 to 30 sustained throughout the day. Tomorrow night, we stay in the 60s, so it stays mild. As we go into Thursday, here comes our cold front. So this is about the noon hour. Showers start to erupt along the I-44 corridor and then really start to pick up once we get into late afternoon. We'll start to get thunderstorms in our southern counties. Some of those could be stronger. I'm not anticipating anything severe right now, but we could get some stronger storms in here. And then periods of showers and thunderstorms continue as we go through Thursday night into Friday morning, and then we'll get this storm system out of here. But we could get some pretty good rainfall amounts. I think a lot of areas with this next storm system will pick up half an inch to an inch, some heavier amounts in our southern counties. All right, 73 tomorrow, 68 Thursday, PM storms, cooling down, showers Friday. We get some more showers in here, especially late Sunday into Monday, so plenty of chances for rain over the next 5 or 6 days.
The trend, at least, is moving warmer and warmer.
Yeah, pretty good.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, destination weddings are making a comeback to near pre-pandemic levels. Topping today's Consumer Watch, federal officials seek to calm nerves about the U.S. financial system, declaring that the banking system is safe and secure for all. The Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen delivered that message during an address to the American Bankers Association meeting in Washington, but the message was meant for anyone who has their money deposited in a U.S. bank. The meeting comes as the First Republic Bank continues to teeter on the verge of collapse, with billions of dollars being pulled out of the institution. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve has begun a 2-day meeting to discuss whether to raise interest rates again in response to inflation. Nearly 24 state attorneys general sent a letter to Hyundai and Kia demanding they take action to stop a rash of thefts of their cars. From 2011 to 2022, the two South Korean car makers opted not to equip their vehicles with engine immobilizers, an anti-theft device standard in other new cars. The two automakers have rolled out free anti-theft software updates for millions of their vehicles, and Kia has issued thousands of wheel locks. Destination weddings are making a comeback after COVID. A study from the wedding site The Knot finds they've reached almost pre-pandemic levels. Wendy Gillette reports from some destination wedding hotspots.
Texas residents Tarlin Eshke and Austin Chigini just got married at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando.
We really love it here at the Ritz, and we really couldn't think of anywhere else that we'd love to be at.
The Ritz and the neighboring JW Marriott Grand Lakes recently underwent a $110 million renovation, driving more couples to the properties for destination weddings. In previous years, 55% of the Ritz's weddings were destination. That climbed to 70% last year. The Four Seasons Orlando at Walt Disney World, which features the only adult pool in the park, has also seen an uptick in destination weddings, many incredibly extravagant, with Disney touches.
Since 2019, we've actually seen about a 45% increase of what couples are spending per wedding. They are really sparing no expense.
Wallet Hub has named Orlando the best place to get married in the U.S., followed by Las Vegas. Tulsa, Oklahoma, the cheapest place to tie the knot, ranked third.
Couples are more excited than ever to visit destinations that are unique for not only themselves, but their loved ones as well.
The Knot estimates about 10% of U.S. couples travel out of the country to get married, and far-flung locations like Fiji are becoming more popular. This is one option at the Lomani Island Resort, on a sandbank in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Fiji offers a tropical paradise that may cost less than you think. Cocktails start at $5 at the two-story floating bar Cloud 9. We got special rates to stay at these hotels, including the adults-only Lomani, where wedding packages start at just $1,200. At the beachside Intercontinental Fiji, weddings with a reception for 30 guests cost around $7,000.
With the U.S. dollar stronger than the Fijian dollar, Americans can get married here in Fiji at just a fraction of the cost.
Fiji is 10 hours by plane from the West Coast, with round-trip flights via Fiji Airways starting at $800 during sales periods. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Fiji.
The Knot recommends working with local wedding planners if you want a destination wedding. The site also finds more than half of couples who choose a destination wedding pick a location that has special meaning to them. Foot Locker is downsizing. The company announced it plans to close about 400 stores by 2026. It'll have a smaller footprint in some shopping malls as it closes underperforming stores. But Foot Locker also is looking toward the future. It wants to reimagine its brand and become more relevant to younger shoppers. Foot Locker is marking its 50th anniversary next year. It says its new store marketing concept is called Lace Up. The company says it'll focus on different types of sneakers shoppers. After nearly 2 years of high inflation, many online shoppers are ditching premium goods and opting for cheaper products. We're talking about everything from groceries to clothing. According to Adobe Analytics, high-priced goods across 11 categories of e-commerce have lost meaningful market share to low-cost alternatives. For example, expensive personal care products accounted for nearly a third of the market in 2019, but now those pricier options have just 7% of the market. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how one of America's historically black colleges and universities is making history in the world of gymnastics. Then on KOAM News at 6, Oklahoma Supreme Court rules on whether there's a right to abortion in the state. Plus, 2 men wanted for attempted murder in Louisiana are caught in Jasper County, Missouri. And Girard Baseball opens its season at home against Labette County. Stay with us. CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. 90 is a little up there to be a new dad, wouldn't you say? Well, don't tell that to this guy, Mr. Pickles. He's a proud new father. Mr. Pickles is a radiated tortoise that lives at the Houston Zoo. He is the oldest animal at the zoo. Again, he's 90. He and his mate, Mrs. Pickles, have been together since their arrival at the zoo in 1996. These cuddly baby reptiles are dill, gherkin, and jalapeno. Even though 90 might not be so old for a tortoise, it kind of surprised the zoo when Mrs. Pickles laid eggs. The baby pickles are important because radiated tortoises are critically endangered. I think those babies might still be here 100 years from now after all of us are long gone. Yeah. The weather.
Well, the clouds stick around tonight. A little bit of drizzle, maybe a random shower. 73 for us tomorrow, so a huge warm-up. Thunderstorms roll in, especially late Thursday.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.